Marines is a youth program specifically for boys and girls between the ages of 8 and 18. They focus on instilling core attributes such as leadership, citizenship through community service, and more. Joining us now to talk more about the Young Marines, Orlando Devil Dogs, is Sergeant Major John Janay, Division II Commander for the southeast part of the United States. Thank you for joining me.
It was a pleasure to be here and to speak about a program that I passionately believe in to help today's youth be tomorrow's leaders.
And John, being that you're a fellow Marine, how long were you in the Marine Corps and when did you enlist?
I was in over 30 years. I went in the summer of 1970 and I retired in the fall of 2000.
And when did the Young Marines get started?
The Young Marines got started in 1959. In the aftermath of World War II and the Korean War, there was a lot of children, and some Marine Corps Leaguers up in Waterbury, Connecticut got together and wanted to do something for today's youth. So they started the Young Marines program in 1959, and in 1965, the Marine Corps League National League adopted them and chartered them on 17 October 1965 in Kansas City, Missouri.
And what are the qualifications to become a Young Marine?
The qualifications are boys and girls ages 8 to 18. If you're still in high school, you can remain in up to age 20. And once you're in, the only requirement is you have to be a high school student. If you drop out of school, then we have to remove you from the program.
Okay, with that being said, what are some of the things that the Young Marines do in the community?
The Young Marines are involved, you name it, they're involved in it. They march in parades, they present color guards, for different various events, for opening ceremonies. We opened up the ceremony for the Reserve Center. They did them for the Military Order of Purple Hearts National Convention. They provided a color guard for the National Marine Corps League Convention. They work Wreaths Across America. They support the Vietnam Pinning Day on 29 March. Memorial Day, they go out, Wreaths Across America, Veterans Days, Toys for Tots, you name it, they're involved, even giving classes on drug demand reduction to students in schools in Orlando.
And can you tell me a little bit about the Healthy Living and the Drug-Free program?
Somewhere along the line, the Marine Corps, supports the Young Marines, and they like us because we're like their drug demand reduction part to keep our youth off of drugs. We're in there. But what happened was Enrique Kiki Camarena was a Marine, and he worked. He was an FBI agent, and he was murdered stopping a multi-billion-dollar drug deal. And so his family and relatives in California started Red Ribbon Week, which is very popular. And the Young Marines support Red Ribbon Week. So we go around and give classes on how to remain a healthy or live a healthy drug-free lifestyle.
That's great because a lot of our youth, they're influenced by a lot of different vices that they see in the community. Yeah. So that's great, and it helps with the patriotism too.
And our unit has won the Enrique Kiki Camarena Award several times, and we also got the Fulcrum Shield Award given to one unit in the whole nation called the Fulcrum Shield Award, awarded by the Department of Defense, and you get to go up into the Pentagon and get presented your award. So that was a great accomplishment that we did something within Orange County. So.
And John, why did you personally get involved with the Young Marines?
Well, I guess it probably started, when I joined the Marine Corps. I always found a need to go to an orphanage in a country like Korea or something. And then I got involved into the Boy Scouts. And then I got here. When I was on active duty, someone had inquired about the Young Marines, and I was like, okay, I've been in 25 years. I didn't know anything about the Young Marines. It was like a kid kept secret. And so when I looked into it, when I got out, I was a high school teacher for the Young Marines. And some principal called me and says, hey, I want you to start the Young Marines. which is now the Roberto Clemente School, but it was the Stonewall Jackson Middle School. So I started that in 2000, and 5 years later, they removed the program from the school system. I felt sorry for the kids, so I took them out in town and renamed them the Orlando Devil Dogs.
Okay. And with that being said, can you tell me what inspired you with some of the youth or some maybe individuals that had a lot of challenges, and how you saw how they transgressed from that and became better, in society, or better patriots, the young people?
Yeah. I would say that the Roberto Clemente is in a lower social economical part of Orlando. And when I signed up there, I had almost 500 kids sign up. I was the only teacher, and we were on the block schedule. So that was 3 classes in 90 minutes, and you couldn't get more than 50 people in a classroom. But I had almost 150 kids to start off. And, some of those kids didn't have a father, some didn't have a mother. They lived with a relative, or they only had one parent. They had 3 or 4 brothers, sisters, and they came from all over, different countries, up from New York and so forth. And, some of the challenges were I had a little girl, and she had a couple disabilities, and there was no way she was ever going to be able to do right face like you would in the military. She had to do a little hop and a skip because she had something wrong with her ankle. And so she'd do a hop and skip, and she thought I was going to get mad. I just gave her the thumbs up, and, she was happy because that's all she was ever going to do. So just taking the kids, and nowadays kids call me on Father's Day, Marine Corps birthday, Veterans Day, wish me and my wife, how we're doing. But I've had one who's a surgeon now. I've probably had over 100 go in the military into all the branches of service. I got several little lawyers. It's just amazing to look back that, you don't think you make a difference, but when someone calls you, or you look out there and you see someone and say, I helped that child become, an adult leader today.
Yeah, it's really amazing how, rewarding it is.
Correct.
When a child comes back and tells you what you have done for it, or the impact that you made in their lives. It's priceless.
Correct.
And Sergeant Major Janae, can you tell me if you have any family members or anything in the Young Marines?
I had my granddaughter in, and she's out. She's 20 now. My grandson is in right now. He's age 13. And my son is an adult volunteer with the Orlando Devil Dogs, and my wife is an adult volunteer with the Devil Dogs. I still go over there and I help out twice a month. They just, being a Division II commander, they didn't want me to be a unit commander. And so, I kind of stepped down, found someone else to take over the place, Louis Cambal, and they're doing great things, all over. They've already been to Georgia for a camp out. They slept on the Yorktown earlier this year. They go up to the villages and provide color guards. They just came back from the Military Order of Purple Hearts National Convention, so they're involved everywhere. So I'm proud that they're keeping up the traditions.
Well, Sergeant Major Janae, thank you for your service to our country. Thank you for all you're doing with the Central Florida Devil Dogs and developing the future leaders and patriots of this country. And thank you for letting me interview you today.
Well, I appreciate taking the time to allow me to come in and speak about a program I'm passionate about.
Coming up next, we will be joined by Ariana Reyes, who will share her story about the important group of young Marines.